Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. My name is Gomez, and I'm here to teach you all about the Celts, from their successes to their failures, and eventually to their evolutions. Prepare to take a journey with me. Finding information on the Celts was a very hard task indeed, because the Celts had no real written history. So, I had to do some digging, and what I found shocked and bewildered the world. I began my search for the truth by traveling to Europe. As soon as I landed in London, England, I decided to go down to the library to meet up with an old friend of mine, Dr. Nicaragua. He is a very well-known doctor and a big studier in the field of Celtic history. He is one of the most prominent Celtic historians in all of London. So, I thought that maybe he could help me with my quest to find the true successes, failures, and evolutions of the Celtic civilization. Thankfully, Dr. Nicaragua had time to talk to me, so I sat down and conducted an interview with him. Here begins the interview. Hello, Doctor.
Why, hello, Alec. It's been a long time since we've seen each other.
Yes, it has, Doc. I hate to rush the introductions, though, because I really need to get this interview finished to give my viewers the knowledge of all the Celtic history.
Oh, yes, I completely understand what you're saying. Your viewers just need to know this important information. Shall we begin?
Yes, I think we shall. Doctor, do you think you could describe some of the major successes of Celtic civilization? Well, the Celts were a warfare tribe. They were a government, but not really a government. They did not have an actual government. They were a set of linked tribes that were loosely connected by the areas that they lived in. This actually worked very well for them, because they could individually run each other, and there was a little bit of fighting among the tribes, but it stayed relatively okay and decent. But whenever the Celtic civilization was, say, attacked, these tribes were known to band together very fiercely, and this led them to just create one of the best war-fighting countries of all time. Their economy was, at the beginning, agriculturally based, and they would farm and import and export like every other country. This worked, but it was not great for them. What really, really worked for them was warfare stuff. Like, they made some of the most intricate and effective fighting swords of all time, which they would then sell to other countries for pretty decent prices and get themselves some good money. Yes. Ah, I see. That's very interesting, Doc. Do you think you could tell me about some of the failures of the Celtic civilization? The failures. I personally don't really like to talk about this because, as you know, the Celts are one of my favorite civilizations of all time. Well, the Celts, one of their main failures was their inability to come together as a kind of empire or nation, because what this did was, at first, it brought them, they became a fierce, war-fighting, feared country, but then it led to fighting among the tribes, and groups trying to take control of the country, which kind of dissolved their entire, civilization, pardon me. But economically, a failure would have to be they were very good at selling warfare items, but eventually the stuff that they were making was becoming obsolete, and other countries were coming up with better, more good ideas, and they kind of just went out of style. And culturally, as a warfare country, they just took over so many places that it spread them out, and when they just wanted to come together to fight a war, they were too far apart to actually just come together. And yeah, those are some of the main failures. That's very, very interesting, Doc. I never knew that there were that many failures in the Celtic civilizations. I always imagined them as being this perfect warfighting machine. Thanks for teaching me more about that. So, I've always been wondering, how did they evolve as a country? Like, could you give me some specific examples? Yes. Evolution. Well, one of the main ways that I can think the Celts have evolved is probably through weaponry. See, they started off just using rocks and slings that they would hurl at their opponents. But slowly, well, not really slowly, pretty fast, they began to evolve their weapons. They went from small dagger, they then jumped up to small dagger-like weapons, and then proceeded to long, not long, but like long comparatively, swords, like the one shown here. Yes, and then they proceeded to their big, I'm talking huge, long swords, which could cut through skin or armor with complete ease like it was butter. Or margarine, as we say in England. Yes. And as a culture, they developed from agriculture to warfare, as I specified earlier, because of the lack of money that was coming in for agriculture and stuff. But yeah, those are some of the prime examples of evolution. Thank you very much for the interview. Anytime, son. Anytime. So that concluded my interview with famed historian Dr. Nicaragua. I then headed back to America. Once in America, I compiled all the data that I found about these mysterious Celts to give you what you just witnessed. A miracle filmed with a camcorder.